is bad.
Sonic Heroes is a very bad game. And as I said at a certain point in the run up to this, I'm probably going to really miss Sonic Heroes by the time this is done. I haven't started.
Will you?
There is a timer on screen, and at a certain point, I am going to click start on that bad boy. Because for the next 10 hours, God help me, I'm going to be playing Unlimited Saga, Akitoshi Kawazu's PlayStation 2 masterpiece. And to help me through that, I've got a cat right here. Her name is Agatha. Say hi. Okay, that's done. And a 5-hour energy. I'm going to drink in about 3 hours. I have a bowl full of onions and limes. And I have a glass of mead. I have some nose torque.
This all sounds horrifying, by the way.
Yeah, man. This is just a nightmare, basically. Oh, you know what? Someone's hearing echo because they have both of our streams on right now. And we're echoing in each other's streams back and forth. Like a big old double ender. So if you want to hear us talking, you're going to have to mute one of these streams. I would recommend muting mine. Because ZP's is going to have fun Star Wars sounds, and mine won't.
Oh, come on now.
But you'll still hear my sonorous voice. So anyway.
Now we're going to kill Kyle Katarn. Time to kill Kyle Katarn, Lando Calrissian, Luke Skywalker, and Mon Mothma.
Star Destroyer.
Everyone's favorite Star Wars character, Mon Mothma. Tell me your favorite Mon Mothma story. Mine's is when she gave...
I like when Godzilla fought Mothra.
My favorite is when she made a mistake and tactical blunder and then gave Garm Bel Iblis shit for trying to outorder her because he was the leader of the Corellian Defense Force.
I agree. So anyone looking at my stream right now is going to see a spinner.
Yes.
There is a spinner on screen right now.
Oh, God, no. Someone asked me to do a ground battle. I haven't done ground battles, have I?
Oh, that's the one thing I remember about the game you're playing. They're not fun.
Oh, God, the ground battles in this game are so bad.
Yeah. So I have a spinner.
Okay, fine. You know what? You asked it. I will do it.
We will do whatever you ask him to for money for Pencils of Promise. That's right. This is a fundraiser, ladies and gentlemen. ZP, myself, and over a dozen other members of the Giant Bomb community are currently working towards raising $10,000 over this weekend for Pencils of Promise, a nonprofit which builds schools and provides educational access to students in Laos, Ghana, and Guatemala. We are presently at $7,559, and thanks to generous donations, I have actually hit my $500 goal. So thank you very much to everyone who's already donated. I'm not done soliciting you for money, though. In fact, over the next 10 hours, I'm going to give you plenty of reason to torment me. We've got the carrot, and we've got a stick. How fun is that? So the carrot end of the situation is every dollar you donate to me effectively is a raffle ticket.
Oh, God. Okay, so the problem with this land battle is we literally have to fight Kyle Katarn and Luke Skywalker, and they're both Jedis, and Jedis are just ridiculous. So I'm just going to show you how ridiculous it is to try and kill Jedis in this game, because they're OP to the point where I don't even like playing this game sometimes. Oh, great, it's raining. Oh, great, so now my units have combat disadvantage. And so now I'm going to be rolling low die rolls no matter what.
That sounds fun.
Great, awesome.
Yes, sir.
Every dollar you donate, be sure to pay when you donate.
So I cannot preface enough. I'm sorry, Jeff Rude. I cannot preface enough. Everyone who's watching this, this is as far as I can zoom it out.
Huh.
This is it.
Yeah, you get like weirdly hugged in that game.
This is it. This is as far as I can zoom the camera out. This is all I got. So I love...
Incoming!
Construction complete. Construction
Reporting in.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, Luke Skywalker's here and he's just killing everybody. He literally just killed all of my stormtroopers. And now he's destroying this turret that I just spent 300 credits on. So I'm just going to keep throwing all of these units at him. And guess what? He's going to kill them all. Because he's Luke Skywalker. I'm literally sending an entire army to kill Luke Skywalker. And he's literally killing everything.
Every dollar you donate to me becomes a raffle ticket for a Blizzard poker set. That's right, it's barely open. I have opened the chest. None of the tokens have been taken out of the shrink wrap. The cards are in shrink wrap. Yep. It's new to me. It's new to you. And I'm shipping the damn thing. All you have to do is get in touch with me when I draw for this, 9 p.m. Sunday, Pacific Standard Time this weekend. And it could be yours. All you have to do is donate any amount over $1, let's say. So, if you
they
could have
literally
a
just
name,
won the battle. I threw nothing. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Awaiting orders.
This is the worst.
sounds like ZP is having a good time.
I hate this.
So, on top of that, small request, if and when you do decide to make a contribution to Pencils of Promise, first of all, thank you very much. Second of all, we would ask, humbly request that when you do so, you'll be given an option to do something that is basically cover the service charge fee when you make a transaction. We and Pencils of Promise, frankly, would be
I hate that.
really appreciative if you would check yes on that box. By doing so, what you're going to do is ensure that 100% of the money that you donate is actually going towards what we are saying, which is direct services to children, training teachers, building schools around the world. Pencils of Promise promises a pledge that 100% of the money you are donating is going to doing good. They can do that by A, keeping their administrative fees covered by what amount to basically fancy dinners for folks, and B, having generous donors like yourselves cover the actual transaction costs.
Always hold the fee. Please pay for the processing fee. I know I've been saying it multiple times,
Yes.
everyone. Especially, I look, and I know Jeffrey and I have said we'll take any amount in terms of our donations, but especially with the donations that are less than $10, it is critical that you handle the processing fee, because you're eating into virtually almost all of your donation when you do not do the processing fee. So
Yes.
please, everyone, I know it's been a rough year for a lot of us. It's been a burner, Jeff, right?
Indeed.
But especially if you're donating in the smaller amounts, we emphatically need you to just consider doing that processing fee. I know Gino asked us that, sometimes we want to have those funny jokey joke donations where it's $4.20 or some hilarious amount, but please, if you would, do the processing fee, do the math beforehand in terms of figuring out how can you exactly make a donation that's $420. But it's really important that you take the time to donate and donate responsibly.
Yes. So that's about all I've got to say on that point. Again, thank you for anyone who is considering donated, and especially thanks to those who have considered donating. And again, that's the carrot end. So there's a raffle for a poker set. That'll be happening on Sunday on the stream. Hope you'll consider joining me.
Okay.
So that's the positive side. So here's the fun part, I guess, for people who like bad times. Every $25 that you donate at this point, I'm going to spin this wheel. Every $25 you donate. If you want me to spin the wheel, pay me $25 and I'll do it. Because I hit $500 already, I'm also going to be spinning this at the top of every hour. You'll notice I haven't done it yet. Don't worry, I'm about to. If you've noticed, this wheel has a lot of terrible stuff on it. That's the point. That's the idea.
But wait, there's more.
I don't know if there is.
I was
Pretty
joking.
straightforward.
Hopefully there's not, because I think it would actually hurt you.
Yeah. I did have some donors already donate earlier on at the Drink 5 Hour Energy tier, and I've never had one before. So here's the one I'm drinking tonight. So I'm going to do that. It's going to be terrible, I'm sure. Yeah, I have some nose torque. Got all my gear. I'm ready to go. I'm willing to let these things stack. The only one that can't really stack, frankly, is putting on a mesh tank top.
Alright.
So if I land on that one...
Ooh, is that Garam Bel Iblis? Garam Bel Iblis is criminally underrated. Yep, that is Garam Bel Iblis. Most people know him as the fun Jedi master helper person in The Force Unleashed. Not the guy who gets his eyes slashed up, the guy who you basically throw down and almost kill. But Garam Bel Iblis is the leader of the Corellian militia.
Move out.
Butts heads with
We shall be there shortly.
Mon Mothma
Understood.
and
Moving to sector.
Center Point Station. Oh, if you want another example of like a really dumb super weapon in the Star Wars expanded universe, Center Point Station, which was a, just a normal space station, kind of like it was Mass Effect, where people were living in it and trading in it and just treating it as like a home. Turns out, if you push the big red glowing button, can reverse the polarity of gravity.
Right away.
Huh.
Flank speed. Coming about.
Ancient civilization that apparently disappeared for some reason. Figured out how to reverse the polarity of gravity.
Let's spin this wheel.
All right.
See what the first torment is going to be.
Let's move
Destroyer
you
here.
guys over here. Oof. Oof. Jesus Christ. Are we already taking casualties? What happened here?
Oh, God. All right.
Oh, no.
It starts.
So, bye, Jeff. I don't want to listen to your ASMR
Oh,
torture.
you're not. So here's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm literally,
We're moving out.
if you'll pardon the phrase, going to
Attack that target.
unplug
Attacking target.
the going to unplug the headphone component of this computer, plug it into a cell phone, and type ASMR.
Right away. Star
Sorry.
Destroyer reporting in. Yes, Commander.
Jeff, you're breaking up for me.
Well, I should be. I think I'm about to disappear. I'm not gonna hear.
Okay. So is this goodbye, Jeff?
This is goodbye, at least for now.
Okay.
Sweet prince.
All right.
Thanks.
So, promise me that you won't let ASMR destroy you completely.
Well, it will. I hate this shit.
Okay. Bye, Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Oh, man. Sometimes I need oof, that's a little loud. Sometimes I need a partner, especially during these periods of times when it's just me. So, sometimes when hey, Chad, if you're there, sometimes when we do a Skype conversation and we have guests on the show, sometimes Skype can mess up the audio. How is the audio right now?
Awaiting your command. Destroy the engines.
Is the audio okay for this? We always like to have these conversations where we group chat and just group conversate, as I like to say. I think this is a GG at this point. Seems good. Okay, cool. I think this is a GG. Yep, we just took out the second hero unit, and Garam Bel Iblis is almost dead. So Garam Bel Iblis is interesting because what people don't realize is, like, so if you... So say that you're looking at the Rebel Alliance as the United States. The Corellians are basically kind of like the American South, where people view themselves as citizens of a state versus instead of a, oh, hey, it's the advanced TIE fighter, rather than citizens of a nation. So the Corellians were always people who were hotly independent and never viewed themselves as part of the Rebel Alliance. They viewed themselves as Corellians that didn't like the Empire as much as rebels. And so Garam Bel Iblis was the leader, or a general within the ranks of the Rebel Alliance. And Garam Bel Iblis is well known for being kind of the known for being the victim of a lot of Thrawn's more tactical events and strategies. He was on the losing end of several of the Thrawn trilogy battles, or the prominent battles in the Thrawn trilogy. The most notable being... Sorry, I'm trying to manage chat and a couple of things here. Okay.
Returning to your position. All enemy craft taking fire. Commander, they're hitting us. Getting a lock. Closing on target. Where'd he go? Enemy forces. Nowhere to run. He's headed your direction. Enemies in range. Narrowing position. Taking him out.
There we go. Sorry that I'm not talking nearly as much. But Garm Bel Iblis really does factor a lot into... Oh, we lost a victory too. It's good if we take these 3 hero units. But Garm Bel Iblis really does factor heavily into the Thrawn trilogy because he's oftentimes used as the rebel general counterpart to Thrawn. And for those that maybe missed it because we were talking to... of Jeffrood, we have now moved from Era 1 to Era 2. So when we were in Era 1, we were in the basically the Reformation movement for the Empire, and now we are in the Thrawn movement of the Empire. Now, the good news for Thrawn is that I have a lot to talk about this right here, but we're not going to talk about it right now. Thrawn is now going to move us towards a more nimble, quick, and easy fleet, as well as we now have the Shimtar Assault Bomber, which is a heavier, more maneuverable... Well, I shouldn't say heavier, but it's a faster, more maneuverable. So, we are now moving towards a more quicker, more nimble, more active fleet. And of course, because we are now playing as Thrawn, we have the better interdictor. So when we were playing as the original Empire, our only real interdictor option was the Immobilizer, which is a small, easily destroyed ship. With Thrawn, we now have the interdictor that we have. And Thrawn's most common technique, for people who know a thing or two about Thrawn, know that one of his favorite maneuvers is to do the Thrawn pincer, which is attack, kind of hammer and anvil strike maneuver. So, we need to kind of play as Thrawn if we want to get anything, but if we don't like playing as Thrawn, it's actually not that hard to transition into probably the most powerful era, which is the Dark Empire era. So, what's interesting about this total conversion mod of Empire at War, which I'm playing as the Empire, is that the game is basically broken down into different eras. So the first era, again, is the fall of the Empire and kind of like the first attempts to try and bring the Empire together. And there we had Sate Prestige, you know, a bureaucrat that's trying to lead an empire based off of total bureaucracy or brutality. And now we have a fleet that is basically led by an admiral. When we had Jason Isard. We had the Luke Shanka. We had several, heavier fleets, the more traditional fleets that we associate with this Empire. Now that we've moved to Thrawn, we really have the ability... Ooh, what the hell happened there? Oof. Oh, I see what happened. They moved their quick fleet, so now they're going to take that out. Dang nabbit. I made a boo-boo with how I've tactically done this. Who is that? What hero is that? I can't tell by this. Is that Mara Jade?
Unit destroyed.
Well, we killed her, so it doesn't really matter.
Tactical battle imminent.
Okay, so now we're being counterattacked. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's not good. That is definitely not good. So, And I'll tell you why this is not good, and I probably should have coalesced my forces because I have an executor. Oh, wait, I don't have an executor? Wait, where's the executor? Oh, is it up here? Wait, didn't I have an executor ship? Where did it go? Oh, it's up here? Yeah, it's up here. Dang it! Oh, because this is actually not going to be that hard of a campaign. Taking out the Pentastar alignment shouldn't be that hard. Ooh, this is going to be tough, because right now it's looking like this area right here is going to be the hardest part to take out. So let's talk about this next faction that I'm going to take out once I'm done wrapping up the Uradu Authority and the Rebels. Right now it looks like the Greater Maldrude is going to be posing a bigger issue. Now you might notice that these Victory 2s are called Crimson Command Victory 2s, and that is because the Greater Maldrude had a specialized version of the Victory 2 that was not only colored red, because they were controlled by Admiral Pterodok, and he had a thing for the color red, because I believe he was, before he became an admiral, like an Imperial Knight, the people who are guarding like the Emperor, and they're dressed in that plasticine red robes and stuff. They're a pain in the butt to take out because they're almost on par with the standard Imperial 2-star destroyers in terms of their armor, though they are still below that, but they are very difficult to take out. So the Greater Maldrude are interesting. Because they're one of the more powerful warlord factions. They were reformed, so we're going to go into the battle and immediately retreat, because I don't think we have enough to take this fleet out. They are established in kind of the mid-rim area after the Battle of Endor, and they were always kind of put into check by Warlord Zinj, because unlike Warlord Zinj, Pterodok, the leader of the Greater Maldrude, didn't have an Executor-class Star Destroyer. Warlord Zinj did, and he was always kind of able to, like, keep them away from being the second big threat of the galaxy. So, basically, the Greater Maldrude could have been more powerful, but they were always kind of having to make concessions to Warlord Zinj, because he had the bigger Star Destroyer, essentially. The stories that the Greater Maldrude are basically a part of... whoa, hey, what? Why? Oh, that's right, they have an immobilizer. Crap. So we got to take out this immobilizer. Dang it. That's annoying. That is annoying. Now, the big thing that all of these warlord factions, it's important to note, the reason why we care so much about these warlord factions is because so many of them factor into a couple of very important storylines in the Star Wars expanded universe at the time, now the Star Wars Legends storylines, which is to say, I think this is going to be a huge loss on our part. Because they're using this immobilizer, and we literally cannot penetrate through their line. Ooh, this is bad. Can we retreat now? Damn it. Okay. So we are gonna see if we can penetrate here. I think they might sweep us. But really, these warlord factions factor into what in this game would be called Era 4, when Natasha Dalla basically coalesces all of the, you know, the Moffs and the... I think I'm gonna just ask the game to auto-resolve this because, yeah, they destroyed us. That's fine. That's fine. We can recover from this. We're rolling in the money, and we've had some really good campaigns against the rebels. Basically, the rebels are no longer a threat, and the Uradu Authority, which is in white, is basically a non-factor. And Thrawn is up here, so we can bring him down and then have him do his thing. But basically, things like the Uradu Authority, the Greater Maldrude, what they factor into is the storylines involving Natasha Dalla, who, like I said, and I've been trying to say, but I keep getting busy with this game, basically coalesces all of the warlords, all of these generals, all of these admirals that are Imperials that don't want to pledge allegiance to the rebels because they know they would be convicted of war crimes. Basically, she gets them all into her room, gets so fed up with them when they start bickering, she fills the entire peace treaty room full of poison, kills all of the admirals, and says, "And I'm willing to do it again, so now pledge your allegiances to me." And so then she's able to reunite basically the Empire, and she is basically the scariest character in the Star Wars Legends timeline. She almost destroyed the Jedi Temple, but suddenly the Jedi gained the power to pray a super Star Destroyer to be flung across the universe and die, basically. So dumb. Sometimes I love the Force as a concept, and sometimes I hate it. Now we can actually, basically, as long as we're careful, as long as we are careful, we can actually brute force our way in this game a little bit more. Alright, so now we need to get everyone and destroy this Dauntless's engines. So it's actually important that one of the first things that you take out are the engines of a ship, because if you can take out the engines, when it retreats, it automatically dies. So there we got it, and this will highlight that. So all we did was take out the engines of that Dauntless. However, because when you retreat, you leave behind any ships that cannot hyperdrive, because that Dauntless had its engines shot out, when the AI retreats, anything that doesn't have engines is left in the battlefield and automatically is destroyed, regardless of its HP. So that Dauntless died because we destroyed its engines. So that's pretty important to know, especially if you're playing this game or are interested in playing this game. Always be careful about when you retreat. Because if you aren't careful about when you retreat, you're going to lose some pretty good units, whether intended or not intended. This is clearly not enough, but alright, let's risk it. Oh, wow. The RNG goddess was nice today.
Beginning construction. Building started. Construction complete. Building under construction. Construction complete. Beginning construction. Beginning construction.
Alright, so with Thrawn, the next era, we are in Era 2, basically the Thrawn campaign. Era 3 is probably what I think is the era that personally I think did more damage to the credibility of the Star Wars Expanded Universe than any one individual storyline, and that is the Cloned Emperor saga, also known as Operation Shadowhand. Emperor gets cloned. He clones Luke Skywalker, which we talked about on this very show right now. It's bad. It's very bad. I think it's a very bad thing. They shouldn't have done it. And the less said about it, the better.
Constructing unit. Constructing unit.
What do we have here? Okay, so we are in trouble. Wow, they might actually deal us another blow. For the Emperor, yeah, Final Fantasy is going to be tomorrow. Right now I'm doing Star Wars to celebrate, you know, the big celebration of Star Wars. Star Wars is going to be from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m., but if I can reach 100% of my donation funding goal, I am willing to play an extra hour of Final Fantasy 13 too. Oh god, they got this. And they have another immobilizer, so this might be another one where I get swept. They didn't clone the Emperor using a body part. They basically used Kaminoan technology to clone the Emperor before he died. And he also has some sort of weird power in which he can split his soul into different parts. Basically, it's like Horcruxes, but before J.K. Rowling came up with the idea of Horcruxes. Yes, it's okay to like bad things. Isn't there a red Imperial Star Destroyer at the beginning of the Yuzong Vong War? So, yes. But remember, there was also the period where the rebels were using Star Destroyers during the Yuzong Vong Wars. And that's important because... Let me find out, because I need to look this up, because it's bugging me. I forget what the name of that Star Destroyer was. So we have the Rebel Dream. That one I remember. But yeah, there are multiple Star Destroyers that the Rebels used during the Yuzong Vong Wars and everything. So let's go back down and start dealing with... I think that if you like The Last Jedi, that's fine. I think that our criticism of The Last Jedi was just that that there were several scenes in that movie that basically undermine the progression of the characters. But if you're going into Star Wars wanting a fun time, it's a fun movie. The Last Jedi is a fun movie. And if you want fun, it's totally fun. And you know what? It's okay for Star Wars to be stupid sometimes. Because you know why? Because Star Wars is kind of dumb. It's kind of always been dumb.
Nowhere to run. Falling out of formation. Cover me now. Draw their watch for enemy ships. Go after them. Regroup. Attack formation. I'm in. Go after the strike.
So we really need to destroy this immobilizer so as that we can retreat. Otherwise, whenever we retreat, it's just going to turn on its gravity well, and this fleet is basically dead. Although considering that... Oh, wow. This is interesting. I forgot this. So, can I change the camera angle here? That is a Providence class. That's interesting because that is the dreadnought that the CIS used, the Confederacy used, during the Clone Wars. I did not know that they had that unit. And this is an Imperial one. Yeah, I just do not have the firepower to take them on in this battle at all. So we're going to have to destroy this immobilizer and then punch out. So let's again highlight all, Control A. Okay. And then we will retreat. No. That's not what I wanted. Get this guy.
Fire at will.
No.
Attacking.
No. Can I not rotate the camera?
Targeting. Former. Firing.
Looks like we're gonna have a little bit more luck in terms of retreating from this battle. But yeah,
We've got them on
the Greater Maldrude has a smaller starting fleet than a lot of the other Warlord factions, but they should not be treated as a joke.
destroyer here. Attack. Taking fire.
Because what they have is pretty impressive.
Fire. Open fire.
I think this is going to be another GG on my part, and unfortunately this is an even more frustrating GG because we actually had a decent number of Star Destroyers here.
Attack that target. Regroup.
Oof. Not good.
Attacking target. Fire at will.
So basically we've lost the lighter portions of our fleet, and we were never able to catch up to that. So I'm just going to auto-resolve and basically come to terms with the fact that this is dead. Yep. Damn it! That's another GG on my part. That was pretty devastating. So we've basically lost this entire campaign here. Alright. Well, I mean, if I'm not going to face any adversity, that's one thing. Okay, Palpatine. The rebel fools believe they have beaten me. Blah, blah, blah. He's still alive. Blah, blah, blah. Evil Emperor. Blah, blah, blah. Cloned. World Devastators. So what always kind of weirded me out, and I don't think a lot of people who played the game realized this at the time, is if you played Rogue Squadron, like the actual Nintendo 64 game, Rogue Squadron, the last mission in that game is a Star Wars Legends storyline where you stop the World Devastators from sucking up the resources of a planet. The one where you pilot the V-Wings and you prevent the
Heading to destination.
the World Devastators from completely killing people. Like that is the dark.
I see.
That is a literal storyline from the comic book series, although they don't look anything like that in the comic book series, but that's what it was. That's what it was. So we're gonna have to rebuild this space station. So now we're having the classic problem of we have our fleet all over the place, and because our empire is so big, it's actually becoming a bit hard to manage everything. Because I'm only human. I can only manage so much. And then on top of that, we're also starting to struggle in terms of at least my ability of figuring out, like, well, is it time to attack or should I play defensive?
We're moving out.
All right, and so this is a decent fleet, at least for Thrawn. So yeah, we'll let the Kuat make that second Tector, but we're gonna need it. Because judging by how bad we were beat by the Greater Maldrude and the Crimson Squadron, my guess is that we're in for a rude awakening if we try to press into there. Okay.
Move out. On my way.
Okay, we'll take this planet.
Invasion commencing.
Okay.
Planetary control
And I don't know if I ever want to play another ground game because it's just not fun.
construction.
Dreadnought cruiser ready.
We shall be there shortly.
Agent's class ready to construction complete.
Understood.
Tactical battle. Recruiting soldiers. Recruiting.
So have any of you seen? Were any of you who are watching or still on stream? Were any of you fans of Star Wars Rebels? Because I'm about to say something that I feel about Star Wars Rebel that I feel pretty confident about saying, but every time I say it, people think I'm crazy. Anybody a fan of Star Wars Rebels?
Right away.
I'll give you some time to answer that before I say what I want to say about Star Wars Rebels. So a little bit more time. I'll give you 30 seconds. All right, I don't think you're ready. Star Wars Rebels is the best thing to have the Star Wars name in the past 10 years. I know. I know. Clone Wars is probably a second, but Star Wars Rebels is the best thing to have the Star Wars name in at least 10 years. I think it's better than all of the prequel movies, but of course that's not a hard task. I think it's better than any of the Disney movies. And you know what? As a true Star Wars nerd, and I don't mean to say that as some sort of title. Oops, looks like I didn't have enough to take him out. That's okay. I just want to say that I am eternally grateful of Star Wars Rebels because it is the show that brought Admiral Thrawn back into the canon, and Admiral Thrawn is legitimately one of the best villains in a Star Wars film, in a Star Wars television show, in Star Wars anything. He's meditative, he's evil, he's intelligent, he's still a horrible fascistic scumbag. Yes, but that's kind of like the thing that a lot of people always ignore about Star Wars villains, is that they're scumbags. They're fascists. That's the reason why it's like, why is an alien supporting why is an alien supporting
Building under construction.
the Empire? Well, it's because he's as much of a fascist as other members of the Imperial Empire. And people oftentimes kind of romanticize Thrawn and kind of what he represents. He's still a fascist. Yeah, I saw that comment about the kamikaze thing. Yeah, we kind of talked about it earlier, is like the whole point of like proving that Poe Dameron wanted to like ignore the chain of command and needs to be humbled about the need of chain of command. That's one thing, but then to not follow that up and provide him consequences for his actions, which result in the deaths of literal hundreds, if not thousands of people, is what kind of completely undermines the movie's messaging or what the movie could have accomplished with that. I think it's beautiful. I think the whole scene where it goes suddenly black and white is objectively well directed.
Invasion commencing.
Why? Why did we lose? Why? We literally outnumber them.
Invasion commencing.
And then, yet, somehow I won that one. Okay. Whatever. At this point, I cannot care. Okay.
Constructing.
Nope.
Building cancelled.
We wanted this one.
Constructing.
Right.
Beginning construction.
Alright. So, we need to start scanning.
Construction.
So, we're going to do the classic scan and jump. And like I said, right now our biggest concern is this area up here in the north, because we have a weakened state for Warlord Zinj, and it looks like the Pentastar alignment is making a resurgent. The Greater Maldruid is going to be an issue for me because they have, again, a smaller but more nimble and hard-hitting fleet, and if I'm not careful, they can actually rip through even my Allegiance craft.
you insist.
But luckily, Admiral Thrawn, as long as there is no hypervelocity cannon, has some pretty decent buffs. See, my problem about the whole idea that they were being hyperspace tracked, which is true. If you read the novelization, you'll find out that Husk has found out that he's created a supercomputer that can run simulations and figure out and limit where a person could jump on the hyperspace lanes. So yes, actually Husk does have some sort of supercomputer that figures out how people or where people are going by using like some sort of algorithm. That is true. However, still the idea of tracking someone based off of, you know, hyperspace or warping doesn't really make sense. Okay? That's not to say that it you know, we're in the world of science fiction and it's not valid, but it's just another example of it leaves a weird taste in my mouth because it's not exactly good. Okay, we got to take out this. Is that a Golan 2? Yeah, it's a Golan 2. Woof, woof. That is a big old woof. Okay, luckily, this Allegiance craft can take down these Crimsons pretty quickly. We'll have the frigates work on the trade station. Alright. See, the good thing about the Allegiance craft is it has heavy ion cannons, so it can disable ships, and its turbo lasers are quad turbo lasers rather than double turbo lasers, or heavy turbo lasers, I should say. Over here. Thank you. Alright, let's use broadsides now. And let's move the Allegiance craft up here. And if I can get Thrawn in this battle, he has a couple of buffs. Okay. Let's actually take this strike craft and be a little careful with it and move it away. No, because Luke Skywalker is literally a hand that the Emperor picked up and then cloned. Nothing is more... Again, the whole, like, cloning stuff, if it didn't work for Spider-Man, it doesn't work. It did not work for Star Wars. Like I said, yeah, it didn't work for Spider-Man. It didn't work for Star Wars. Period. End of story. Nothing more needs to be said. Alright, we're about to hit 11 o'clock. This stream is scheduled to end at 12. So we got about another hour. I know that I promised I would beat the campaign here, but I do want to save the main event for later. Again, the main event being Final Fantasy 13-2. 13 for 13. And again, we're just kind of talking about Star Wars, the state of Star Wars. Hey chat, did any of you see the Respawn's new Star Wars game? Single player focused Star Wars game. I'm super excited. Maybe you're super excited. If you aren't excited, I don't know. I would like to actually hear why you would not be excited, because I think it's probably one of the best things I've heard about in a long, long time.
Construction complete.
I'm legitimately really looking forward to it. Now, do I think that the game that they were gonna make with, you know, the writer from Soul Reaver would have been just as interesting? Absolutely. I am getting tired, though. I mean, I would have really liked to have seen Amy Hennig. I would have really liked to have seen Amy Hennig get a bite at that apple of making a legitimate, good, dark, gritty Star Wars movie. Or, I'm sorry, not a Star Wars movie. Hell yeah, though. Give Amy Hennig the ability to write a script for Star Wars. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But a Star Wars game is what I meant to say. So we're literally almost done with the southern half of the galaxy. So I don't know how much, if I played it an extra hour or so, like how much more it would take to actually beat the game, because it shouldn't be that much.
Unit destroyed.
Yep.
System control achieved.
I knew you would say that.
Building started. Constructing.
We're going to conquer Thanos. Thanos! It's only the poster, but there's like now people are saying that there's like secret images, hidden pictures in it. I think whatever. I'm so desperate for a single player Star Wars film, or not a single player Star Wars game. I'm so desperate for a single player Star Wars game. I will at this point take anything, literally anything.
Roger that. Our target priority is the laser cannons.
Okay, let's look over here. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, this isn't that bad. Looks like they don't have a hypervelocity cannon, so I can just plop Thrawn in.
We're moving out.
Thrawn is interesting in that he is a general that has a passive buff. That is to say, if you use him or plop him into a battle,
She'll be there shortly.
all of your ships get stronger.
That will do.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Increase the flex. Ahead full. Helm ahead full.
Okay.
At maximum unit capacity.
Form up. Destroyer here, engaging the enemy.
What is it you want? Tightening up.
Copy. We've got them on scopes.
Okay, let's see how our earlier battle up here is going.
Copy. Attack.
Okay, so one of the heavy dreadnoughts is taking some hits. Let's bring these aircraft, strike craft here. Hmm.
Under control. Back around for another run. Watch it. He's coming around. Excellent shot.
Dreadnought cruiser ready.
Returning to your position.
I'm legitimately scared about my Final Fantasy 13-2 thing.
Let's finish him.
Like, in part because it is going to take a lot out of me. I mean, the Final Fantasy 13 for 13 community endurance run last time took a lot out of me. But, I mean,
Right away.
I knew what I was signing up for. I don't think I really understand or appreciate what Final Fantasy 13-2 is. I'm not ready.
Attack position. Shield's almost gone. Fire at will. Cover me now. Watch for
Yes,
enemy
Commander.
ships.
Fallout.
Again, that is going to be at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Calculating.
I still need to make the community spotlight, which, if you can always do me a favor, please remember to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and show your support for any community members. Good lord, I am watching what Jeffroot is playing, and the cutscenes for that look horrifying. Good lord, if you are not watching Jeffroot's thing, whatever it may be, you are missing out.
Your command. Keep going.
Oh, man. I normally would drink coffee, but I need to actually sleep so as that I can be prepared for my stream on Saturday.
Roger that. Attacking target. Form up. Fire at will.
We got 90 people watching. Again, please use the first link on chat where it says pencilsofpromise.org/team. Find, if you would, any accounts or users that have not yet reached their goal, which I guess also includes me, but for now, see if you can donate to some of the less fortunate streamers. Everyone is going through a lot in terms of providing these entertaining streams and events. Okay, can we keep this alive?
Star Destroyer standing by.
Probably not.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Okay, so what's this stuff up? Oh, dang it, I forgot to take their infantry out. Well, now they're going to retreat, and I'm not going to get them. Snap. I could have gotten their infantry, those soldiers. We lost some strike craft, but we took out a shipyard and some Imperial Star Destroyers. So that's the good news. Bad news is that they probably can easily replace those units.
Invasion commencing.
We lost the battle. Why? Ugh.
Vehicle in production. Vehicle in production. Enlisting soldiers. Enlisting troops. Enlisting soldiers. Enlisting soldiers.
You can't move units around when you're in pause, which is kind of frustrating. Like, I can't even give them orders, which is just endlessly frustrating. I mean, I get not allowing me to, like, start battles and queue things up. I mean, I get that this isn't,
Construction complete.
I don't know what I was going to say. It's starting to get a little tired. Unlike the other streamers, I decided to not use PTO to do this event, so I still went to work, which was good and bad.
Recruitment canceled. Enlisting soldiers.
Oh yeah, we can move this fleet over here. And this is basically going to be it for the rebels. Unless they really can find a way to just pull something out of their butt. Again, please use the link that is fundraise.pencilsofpromise.org/team. Click anyone there, and if you can spare just a few dollars, please, if you would, donate to anyone who is on the bottom or least raised list. Please help out the people. I mean, everyone's going out of their way to stream for both entertainment purposes and for this weekend. Okay, so now we're going to take the city of Besman. Okay, so the key here is we want to take these GR-75 transports, which I have...
Choose your reinforcements.
Hey, is anyone in chat a super dedicated Star Wars fan? Because to this day, I have never figured out what the GR-75 transport is for. Like, seriously, I've never known why the rebels literally bring these transport vehicles into combat, like into combat situations where they're like almost in the front line. If it's a carrier just transporting people to a battle, why are they always in the front line? If they're trying to use them just like screen, like be damage sponges, why aren't you putting lasers on it, or like turbo lasers or something? Why are what is the purpose of the GR-75 transport? I don't know. I think even the most dedicated Star Wars fan does not know.